Hello everyone. Good morning. Can you all see me? Hello, good morning. I am Vandana Bajaj and I hope you all can see me and hear me now. Yes, I'm there with you in the live chat. So you can always drop in a message. Hi Sahil. Hi Bhavya. Hey Sneha. Hello Vinay sir and Hardik sir. A very happy welcome to both of you and all of you in this session. Hi Tejas. I am doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. Hi Bhanu. Hi Snehalata. I am doing great Sahil. Thank you so much for asking. How about you? Yes, Bhavya says we are doing great. Amazing. Yeah, this is good. This is good. It's always so good to see your students hale and hearty. So I am Vandana Bajaj and that you see on the screen right there. And there you see on the screen, yes, you can see it. So we are coming up with the new skills every day. That is, you learn in the creative corner of Unacademy Plus. And you know what is the most amazing aspect of this? It is available for free. Yes, you heard me right. Wait, what? It is available for free. So you host your first magic show, you doodle your first comic, you create your first app with us, yes, the coding, where you pay tons of money to others, learn to debate and speak confidently, learn skills to be a human calculator, this is interesting, learn how money can make more money, build your first robo. How do I access Creative Corner? I told you it is available for free. So when you subscribe to the Unacademy portal for any of the K-12 categories, that is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, any CBSE goal you select and you get unlimited live and recorded access to these creative corners. And yes, I repeat again, they are available for free. And plus, when you take a subscription with Unacademy, you use the code VBLIVE. There you see right above me, VBLIVE. You use this code and the great thing is you get a 10% discount also. So don't forget to use it. Now my earlier students might feel the code has changed. So you can use either of the codes, okay? All the students who have been following me since a very long time now on YouTube also. So guys, you can use VB Live or you can also use VB20. So don't get confused. Aapka tattoo waste nahi hua. Okay. Coming to the details of Creative Corner, I'm just about to tell you how to write interesting answers and give you some amazing keywords when you write answers for letter to the God. But before that, it is my duty to make you aware, all my plus and non-plus students, that you have this Creative Corner open for Vedic Math. You have it for poetry writing skills, story writing, storytelling skills, doodling, that's trendy, public speaking courses, origami, magic tricks, debating, mnemonics and robotics. So learn new skills every week. Unacademy is always in complete sync with the new education policy. We completely respect and we have always been very supportive of this idea of developing skills for every student. It is a must. So here we are. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe us. You can use the code VBLIVE or you can use the code VB20. Both of them are going to fetch you a good 10% discount. And now coming down to the Educator, let me just introduce myself to you for this month of October. So hi everyone, I am Vandana Bajaj and I'm a plus educator with Unacademy for CBSE class 8 to 12th. I take English for category 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. And I have also been teaching economics now for 9th and 10th and the response is terrific, you know it. And I have done my CS. I am an NET qualified assistant professor. I have done my Mcom, that is Masters in Commerce. I have done my Bachelor's in Management Studies. I have been teaching since June 2008 and have completed fruitful 12 years into this fraternity. And this is my 13th year. My subject expertise is English, language and literature, business communication, economics, law, audit and business management subjects. I am a passionate dancer and a painter. And this is what you see how my profile looks on Unacademy. And this is my work experience that you read here. And now it is time for introducing our very interesting session today, A Letter to God, a story about unquestionable belief. AC. Okay, so let's start with this amazing journey of a letter to God, and let's meet our very own farmer Lencho. So don't forget, you are right now live with Vandana Bajaj, and we are going to have some super informative session right now. Hi Shweta, hi Vishal, hi Dhairya, hi Chaitali, hey Divita, hi Kavyangana, hi Rajesh. Aajao. Hi Anushka, I didn't realize so many people have joined in. Hi Bhavya. Alright, तो चलो शुरू करते हैं. Yes Shweta, I remember you. So this has been written by G.L. Fuentes. Now remember one thing, whenever you write a long answer, it is very important, okay? It is very important. And it adds that extra impression on your examiner when you write the name of the author, when you write the name of the person who has written the lesson you are talking about. So it creates a very good impression and a lasting impression. So even if in one or two answers you get a chance, okay, don't push it forcibly, but if you get a chance to write who has written this, like you can just say the narrator G.L. Fuentes wants to show that, or is trying to communicate, or is depicting, demonstrating, or any kind of good word here, it really impresses the reader. It feels that you have studied this chapter not just as a ratta thing, but you have understood what the author is trying to show. It really impresses the examiner. Now I check papers, I used to check papers, so I can tell this thing to you that I really look forward to such X things in the paper. And we start with a very important area of English paper, character sketch. Now, I have already given you the mantra of character sketch, how to crack it, how to hack it. So, we have done a 14 sentences, very easy mantra, how to write a character sketch. Today, we are going to apply that here, and we will check if our hack applies to what we do practically or not. Okay? Are you ready to read with me? I always insist on my students to read with me. Alright. So, hi Barbie doll. Hi Rishika. Yes. So, chalo. Sahil, that you will find on your Learners app. The Creative Corner, you can find it in your Manage Goals in the Learners app. Quite a few students have already started attending it, and the response, the feedback is terrific. They are completely enjoying the experience of developing new skills on the portal, that too for free. Character sketch of Lencho. Now here we start. Remember one thing guys, when you write a character sketch, it is this platform, it gives you that liberty wherein you can use some very beautiful vocabulary words and impress your English language teacher with some fine vocabulary. So if you read, you can make sure that you know some word meanings, synonyms. So thesaurus is of great help here. And if not, you can always refer to my notes, to my sessions. We keep discussing a lot of new words that you can easily slip into your answers. Now, the difference between a student scoring a full and a student scoring an average mark is this. What is that X thing you write in your paper? And that is the reason this month is going to be a very informative month, keeping in mind your pre-boards and your boards. So how to write the answer? We're going to pick up some chapters and we're going to discuss how to write the answers. And if you feel that this teacher is of substance and I really want to be trained under this teacher, I want to learn and grow with this teacher, with this educator on the portal, you can always subscribe. And don't forget to show gratitude by using the code VBLive or VB20. So now we are going to start reading character sketch of Lencho. Lencho is the farmer here we are talking about. So Lencho was a man of limited means and earned his livelihood by farming his cornfields. He had an unshakable or unshaken and unquestionable belief in God. He was certain and kept faith that God always helps people with a clear moral and clear soul. Hence, we lost all hopes of survival. When he lost all hopes of survival, he and his family reached the verge of starvation. He looked forward to his last resort to seek help. His profound faith in God enthralled the postmaster, who resolved to extend a helping hand to respect his belief in God. Lencho was literate enough to draft a letter. His innocence is evident by this action of trying to have a correspondence with God directly. While he had an absolute faith in God, he, without a second thought, suspected the intentions of humans. He could never find out, nor did he make an attempt to know who had sent him those 70 pesos as a helping gesture. It is quite atypical that he thought ill of his helpers by calling them a bunch of crooks. So now when you read it, how many of you, now we are going to talk in the live chat, how many of you felt that this is like a small summary of all the actions that Lencho has done in this chapter? How many of you feel that? Oh, we have more people. Hi Ujjwal, hi Debusis. Yes, hi Anuj, hi Shreya. Ah, yes. Okay. Yes, Sahil, absolutely. I will always want my students to have that X factor. All right. Hi, Anuj. Yes, Debusis, did you notice that thing? Amazing, amazing. Live chat just takes a couple of seconds here and there to reach me. Amazing, amazing. So I'm so glad that you noticed this thing. Now let's just discuss it quickly, and you can always add more. You can always change some words if you're not confident about spelling, if you're not confident about remembering this word, or you are confusing it with some other English word. So in that case, you can always replace the word, but make sure it fits correctly. Now that's the magic of vocabulary. You should know that every word doesn't fit everywhere. So Lencho is a man with very limited means, or you can write limited resources. And instead of putting it like a very plain statement, which every other student is going to write, that Lencho was a farmer, we will write he earned his livelihood by farming, which actually means that he's a farmer. And he did this in his cornfields. So we are also highlighting the fact that we know that he had a field where he was growing corns. And now we straight away jump to the crux of this chapter. He had an unshaken, complete, absolute, determined, a very strong belief, unquestionable, something that he never doubted or questioned, belief or faith in God. He was certain, okay, he was very sure, and he kept faith that God always helps people who have a very clear conscience, a very clear soul and morals. And hence, when he lost all the hopes of survival, that is what he says in the story. The character says this to his family members in the story, and we have just picked it up from there and put it in our words, that when he lost all the hopes of survival, he and his family, they reached the verge of starvation. He says this thing that the entire year we're going to starve. So we've just put that fact here. He looked forward, so he hoped. He knew where he had to go, to his last resort to seek help. You could have simply written it like every other student, he went to God, but that wouldn't have impressed an English language teacher. His profound faith in God, profound is just a better word for deep. So his profound faith or deep faith in God enthralled the postmaster. Enthralled is what? It's surprised, amazed, astonished. The postmaster who resolved, the postmaster was very determined after reading that to extend a helping hand, to help. You could have simply written it to help, or to extend a helping hand, to respect his belief in God, because he didn't want Lencho to, just break this belief that he has in God. Lencho was literate enough. So now, despite of being a farmer all his life, that he has lived till now, he was still literate enough. He knew how to write. His innocence, that he's a very innocent, ignorant kind of a person, and that is very clearly visible. It is very apparent. It is evident by this action. Which action? Of trying to have a correspondence with God directly. No mediator, no pandit, no havan, no saint, no priest. Directly I'm going to talk to God. While he had an absolute faith in God. This is what it is very visible here. He has this absolute, complete, total faith in God, and without a second thought in his mind, which means without any doubts, he actually suspected the intentions of humans. So he believed in that supernatural power which he has not yet seen. And the humans which are around him, he doubts them. He could never find out, nor did he make an attempt, because nobody is going to come and tell him that we helped you. And he never made an attempt to find out who sent that money in the envelope. To know who had sent him those 70 pesos as a helping gesture. So instead of simply writing money, if you write the amount 70 pesos, avoid writing 70, then the teacher gets a liberty and a chance to cut your marks. So you will write SEVENTY 70 pesos as a helping gesture. Again, it shows that you are completely thorough with the story. It is quite atypical. Atypical is what? It is quite strange. People write ironical. It is quite opposite to the reality. So it is quite atypical or strange that he thought ill, he thought bad of his helpers. He thought that they were the people who actually took 30 pesos from the envelope by calling them a bunch of crooks. So that is where the story ends. And if that is the way you end your answer, it's very impressive. Is this point clear? Hi Piyush. Hi Tanya. That's where the story ends, Tanya. So the reaction is not there. And I would advise you not to create a reaction that you feel can be a reaction. So please avoid doing that. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, Rimpi. Thank you so much, Sahil. You are going to write it like that. In fact, if you practice, you will write it better than this. Yes? Is this thing very clear? Amazing, amazing. Now when we do the character sketches, of course the protagonist is the most important person, the hero, the character, the main character of the story, where the story is revolving around this character. Of course that is important, but the side characters are a trick question. Because you have less information and more conclusion to be drawn when you are writing an answer for a character sketch of a side character, a second character in the story, not the main character. So that is when you have to be very skilled. Yes, that's even more challenging. Less details and more to write. So let's read the character sketch of Postmaster. Is everybody reading with me loud and clear? Even if you happen to watch this recording, which I'm sure a lot of you will, please read it out with me when I read. It will really help you improve your language, your pronunciations, your speaking skills, and it will help you remember the facts for a longer period of time. Yes? Hi Saroj. Hi Somveer. Hi Prashant. Thank you. Hi Preeti. Ajao. So we are just going to start reading the character sketch of the postmaster. Very interesting guy and a very kind guy. So the postmaster has all that is good in human thinking and behavior. He has an in-depth understanding of an intelligent, benevolent, and sensitive mind. He understands how the mind of a God-fearing rural man like Lencho functions. He doesn't wish to dampen the profound and unquestionable faith of Lencho in God. Initially, he had a hearty laugh at the innocence of a man who initiated a... So he accumulated a sum of 70 pesos from his employees. He also donated a part of his salary to the pool and sent the money to Lencho. So if you see overall, he's a very kind, a very generous, a very sympathetic person. So you have to use such beautiful and warm words of English. You have to. Because when you write that, it conveys to the examiner, the teacher knows for a matter of fact that this student has understood the character completely. He has seen the character from all the dimensions. And when someone without reading the story reads your character sketch, he already creates an image about the character before reading the story. It's just the way I come and I tell you that in so-and-so movie, so-and-so character is a very positive character, is a very kind character, is a very foolish character. So you already have a preconceived notion about that character. You've already created your prejudgments about the character. So you have to be very good when you are writing a character sketch if you really want to, excel in English. Thank you, Primex. Hi, Mishti. Hi, Yash. So is this helping you? Are you getting a very clear understanding? Oh my God, even this is a way that I could have actually written it. Or maybe next time I want to write it like this. If this is really impressing you, please don't forget to share the video. Pass on the knowledge. It always multiplies. It never gets divided. Oh my God. Thank you. I just happened to not sip it when I read that. Thank you so much. Crystal clear understanding, amazing. Also, some students I'm sure must be sitting with a pen and a book. So note down the words, the key words that you feel that you should write in this answer. So smart studies, don't copy the whole thing, because if everyone writes the same thing, again the impression is reduced by an inch. So what you do is you note down the keywords. You note down these keywords and then you construct your own sentences. Okay? Hi, Mr. Phenomenal. I like that name. Sure, you can search me. You can even message me on the Unacademy app. And if you really enjoyed this session, I have posted some free sessions, something actually, a lot of free sessions, nearly I think 50 plus sessions, 100 plus maybe now. I don't remember, I've forgotten the count actually. So you can actually see my sessions on Unacademy app. You just have to download it. It's a free download, occupies really less space in your phone. And what you can do is you can just go and search for me, Vandana Bajaj, go to the special classes section, and you can actually come across various topics of grammar, literature, writing skills, and whatever helps you. I'll be more than happy if the content and the delivery of content is making a difference in your performance. I think I'll be the happiest. Anyway, we will come down to the character sketch of postmaster. So first line is, I'll tell you, killer. If I have to communicate with you in your language, dude, fadu. So the postmaster has all that is good that you can think in a human behavior, and the mind, attitude. So he has a complete understanding, in-depth understanding of how intelligent, because when you know your work, the nitty-gritties of your work, the technicalities of your work, you are an intelligent person. Benevolent is a kind person. And sensitive, who can be easily influenced, easily attacked. He understands, this man is matured enough. It's a very mature character in the story. He understands how the mind of a God-fearing... Now, these are some fantastic words which I would actually insist that you write. He is a God-fearing person. He is a rural man. And that's how his mind works. And the postmaster has an understanding of the same thing. He doesn't wish, the postmaster is very clear in his mind that he doesn't want to reduce this deep and unquestionable faith of Lencho in God. So initially, he laughs. That is how the story goes, right? So he's a happy man. Initially, he laughs. He has a hearty laugh at the innocence of this man who initiated. What is the innocence? Again, highlight. Who initiated a complete correspondence or a direct correspondence with God. And after reading the letter, the immediate reaction you see is he bangs it on the table. But I don't want you to write that, because every other person is going to write that, because everyone has read the story. So you can put it in your words and say that he was stirred, he was moved, he was shaken, he couldn't believe. So he was stunned, astonished, surprised by Lencho's faith in God. When you write something like this, no teacher would actually want to cut your marks. He knew that only goodwill, being kind, being great, being philosophical, will not suffice. It is not enough. It is not adequate to respond to Lencho's letter. The farmer was in need of financial help. So he accumulated. Who is he here? The postmaster. So he is the one who gathered this money of a pool, a fund of 70 pesos from his employees. Also write friends. He also donated. Now this is an important part. So I would tell you and advise you that you should write this separately. That he donated a part of his salary. This part has to be separated. Now why it has to be separated is because we are talking about this character. So what others are doing and what this character is doing have to be shown in two different sentences to do justice to the answer. So he also donated a part of his salary to the pool and he sent the money to Lencho. And that's it. You want to conclude, you can say that he was a very kind, sympathetic man. Now, I have not used the word fat here. You can write about his physical appearance. I have not used the word amiable here because that has been used in the textbook. So, I avoid using that word. You want, you can write it. There is nothing wrong in that. Just try to be a little extraordinary. Don't be completely out of the situation. But I'm telling you, it's the X factor. क्या बात है. Thank you so much, Prime X. Hi, Shreya. VB19 नहीं बच्चे VB20. Yes, absolutely. I'll accept it. Hi, Kaustubh. I am doing great, bacha. How's it going? Are you understanding the complete way of writing a character sketch? Okay, very nice. And now there is this one extra thing I want you to write. It is about the post office employees, because there's a postman also in the story, but we will not just write about the postman, we will put it in a general way. So the post office employees, they make every effort to help Lencho. They believed that only an innocent and ignorant farmer can draft a letter to God. They were kind and sympathetic. They were marveled at the faith of the man who thought of starting a correspondence with God. They contributed their bit for an act of charity. They couldn't collect the demanded 100 pesos, but sent the collected 70 pesos to Lencho. Only a single word was written as a signature, God, which shows that it was a very selfless gesture. No problem, Ujjwal Bacha. If you are not liking this, you can obviously, there are a lot of people available. I mean, India is a bhandar of talent. So it is okay. You can always switch over. But thank you for sharing that. Okay. Anyway, others, if you are finding it great, let's proceed. So if you write about the post office employees, now of course this question has the least chances of coming in the paper if we study with smartness. So what do? We can always pick ideas from here and slip them into different answers. So if there is any other answer that comes from the paper which is trying to test your personal understanding of the story, in that case you can use these points. You can slip one line about the post office employees because even they are important. Even they have done their bit as an act of charity. So make sure that you use words. You can pick good vocabulary words from here like marveled. So surprised, astonished, amazed. Marveled is another word added to the list. Starting a direct correspondence, a direct conversation, communication. Okay, so please remember, and it was a very selfless gesture that these guys did. So you should always write that point. You should always highlight the good things of the character. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, phenomenal. I'm so happy that it's helping you. Coming down to an answer, I think this is there in your NCERT. Now, as an educator, I never restrict myself to only the textbook. Then language is not taught properly in that case. You have to explore all the dimensions of a language. So I keep on giving a lot of extra things to students just to widen the horizon of understanding. So who does Lencho have complete faith in? We all know the answer. But how will you present it? That is what makes the difference. And which sentences in the story tell you this? So for that you have to have a complete reading of the story. And if you remember some sentences, that will be great. If you don't write word to word, but you still write it in your own words. That's important. So Lencho has complete faith in God. This is a normal, regular, ordinary answer. So what are we going to do? We're going to slip something extra here. So Lencho has complete faith in God as he is instructed that God knows everything and helps us in our problems. And we know this in the story. He has always been told by his elders that God is able to see everything that's happening in and out. So we just produce that point and we show the teacher that, hey, I have read the chapter. Not just read it, I have understood it, and I even have the skill of presenting it. Did you understand that? Yes? Exactly, Mehak, exactly. A complete and a correct understanding of story. Sometimes the story will write sentences, but it's not just at the, it is a very superficial level, we say. It's just the external understanding of story. But when we discuss the story in the class, all my plus students right now will agree to this, that we explore what is read between the line thing. What is hidden here? Or what nature is it showing when it is writing? So when an author writes something, he's not just writing it at a superficial level, at an external level. He wants you to dig it deep. And when you start digging, trust me, you start understanding. You start understanding, you start loving the story. It starts creating the correct impact on your mind. And that is the whole idea of building up the language English as a subject, which I think 1% people understand. So here are a few sentences which show this to us. In our hearts of all people who lived in the solitary house. So this sentence, then all the night Lencho thought of only his one hope, shows that he has God. He believes that God exists and God is seeing everything. God is aware of his problems. God, he wrote. He knew that somebody is there, and that is the reason he's writing that too. And then he also addressed it as to God without even bothering to find out the address. And he says that God could not have made a mistake. Now that is a very important sentence. Now this sentence actually shows that he's not just doing it at the upper level. He believes it with every part of his body, every drop of blood, that God could not have done that. God could not have made that mistake. It must definitely be humans who are always wrong with their intentions. So you have to highlight these things to show that Lencho has complete faith in God. Yes, exactly. A superficial knowledge is an incomplete knowledge. Which one? Prime X? The previous one? Postmaster employees wala answer you want me to explain? Post office employees wala? Is this the answer that you're asking me? I'll explain it, no problem. Hi, Shadow. Yes, Prashant. Okay. All right. Okay, so this answer, you want me to do it again? The post office employees, they have done every possible thing that they could do under their purview to help Lencho. So they were ready to help, which actually shows that, you know, they know that this man is innocent. He is ignorant about the realities of life. But okay, he's in trouble. And the post office employees were kind enough. They were sympathetic, understanding that he needs help. And if they have that extra money to help, they should help. Even they were surprised, because the postman is also surprised here at the faith of the man who actually had the guts, without a second thought, to start a direct correspondence. Kulle dahade, he just went to talk to the God. They contributed their bit, every little that they could, for an act of charity. They couldn't collect, of course, they failed to collect the entire 100 pesos, but that's not important. The action is important. The intention is even more important. So they couldn't collect the entire money that was demanded, but they collected successfully 70 pesos. And they were very selfless people. They weren't selfish people, because they did not write their names on the envelope. They wrote simply God, because they wanted to make sure that Lencho doesn't lose this faith. They wanted to respect his faith and keep it up. So they just signed God and they sent it. Is this very clear? Hi, Shreya. Why? What happened, bacha? What happened to me? Okay, we go to the next one. Yes, he was having an unshakable belief in God, faith in God. Correct, Sahil? Very nice. Now, this is a very interesting question. There are two kinds of conflict in the story, between humans and nature, and between humans themselves. So there are two kinds of problems, disagreements. Something that is not in sync with each other is a conflict. So there is this disagreement that has been shown in the story. And how are these conflicts illustrated? So there is a conflict between humans and nature, and there is a conflict among the humans themselves. So let's understand. Shreya, can you listen to me now? Yes, so that's what I'm telling you. Yes, phenomenal. So what you do is you highlight something that is very technical about the chapter, or something that shows what is not given in the chapter. Okay, it is like, you know, it has been showed but not told to you. It is hidden, you have to find it out. So for that, you'll have to be very regular to the sessions if you want every chapter's understanding like that. So conflict between human and nature. The conflict here between the humans and the nature is depicted by the destruction of Lencho's crop by the hailstorm. So here there is a human who's working hard to produce crops, and here there's the nature who is being aggressive and destructive. So Lencho was expecting a good rain. So he was expecting something from the mother nature, followed by a good harvest. So he thought maybe it will be a good downpour, and then I will harvest, and then we'll have food and money to survive the next year. As that was the only hope and means he had for earning his livelihood. So that was the only way that he used to work. All his life he has been a farmer. He knows nothing beyond that. So he worked like an ox to feed his family. He was a hard working man. Now they have used this line that he was an ox of a man for farming. What we are going to do is we're going to pick it up and put it to an overall character. We will say he worked like an ox to feed his family. But the conflict is, instead of giving rains, the nature had other plans. It turned violent and destroyed everything. So you see there is a disagreement between the human, Lencho, and nature. He was expecting a downpour and all he got was hailstorm. Very clear? Thank you. Hi Vishesh, God bless you. Thank you so much. Hi Ishank, can you hear me now? Okay. So conflict between humans and humans. Now yahan pe na, this is a very interesting answer. You can really build up a lot. So the story also depicts another conflict, and that is the conflict that keeps happening among the humans. We don't agree with each other on a lot of things because all of us have our respective approach towards things. So the postmaster, with the help of his friends and staff, arranged a sum of money for Lencho against his demand, or to meet his demand from God. So Lencho, without knowing about this help, he did not know who is that person who has helped. He blamed them on the contrary. So the person who's actually helping you, you are blaming that person. It is because of you this happened. And that person is actually trying to bring you out of that situation. The best conflict that you see in these kind of circumstances are with your parents. They're the one who are trying to protect you, and they're the one who are actually being blamed for the things that are going wrong sometimes. It's very ironical. So Lencho was, without knowing who helped him, he blamed them for taking away some amount of money, and the complete opposite thing was happening. They were actually giving a part of their salary. He even called them a bunch of crooks, people who take away things, thieves, wrong intentioned people. And this actually shows that man does not have faith in any other man. Thereby, there is always a rise of conflict that we see because we don't trust each other completely. We know that God will never make a mistake, humans can. God will never do something wrong, humans can. So he was very innocent and very ignorant. We will not write the word insensible because that is a very negative word for putting to a character. So avoid writing negative, strong words, because then the teacher, the examiner might feel that you are just being too judgmental. So there's a very thin line when you write what you feel about being judgmental and about understanding the concept. So you have to be very careful about that area. Is this answer very clear? Oh my God, thank you. Hi, Shaurav. Yes, there is irony. There is irony. Hi, Anjali Singh. Yes, so two kinds of disagreements, two kinds of conflicts that you see here are these. And the question clearly tells you the conflict between the humans and nature when you're not in sync together. And there is a conflict, when you expect something from someone and the other person doesn't do that and does something exactly contrary, something exactly opposite to what you expected. So there is a conflict. And that is what we're supposed to write about. It is a very easy answer if you understand it. The next thing, we want to know, why did the postmaster send money to Lencho? We all know it. It's just the way of presenting it. And why does he sign the letter as God? Now this is interesting. So both the answers are both the questions are actually complementing each other if you see. They are supportive of each other. So the postmaster sends money to Lencho in order to keep Lencho's faith in God alive and firm, as he was completely moved by it. When the postmaster reads the letter of Lencho to God, he becomes serious and does not want to shake his faith and decides to answer the letter. He gathers money with the help of his post office employees and friends on behalf of God. and signs the letter God so that Lencho's faith is not shaken. So if you see now, after reading the answer, it is actually complementing to the two different answers that you've written in this question. That he did not want to shake his belief, and he even seals it by writing God, again because he doesn't want the faith to be broken. So very interesting way of writing. Such questions have very tiny answers, but if you have to write it nearly 30 to 40 or maybe in the bracket of 50 to 80 words, you have to produce something extra and should be relevant also. Did Lencho try to find out? No, Lencho did not. And why or why not? Now that's again interesting. The question is putting a googly on you. Okay. Thank you so much, Sahil. I am so happy for the thing that you've written. I actually wanted to write that thing, that why are people asking Menti? Because in exams you have to write and you have to score, and exams are on your head and the approach is a little haywire. Okay. So did Lencho try to find out? Lencho did not try to find out who had sent money to him, because he never suspected the presence of God and had complete faith in God. He could not believe that it could be anybody else other than him who would send him the money. His faith in God was so strong that he believed that he had sent money to him for his help in his problem. So here if you read, this again shows the belief that he has, but avoid writing unquestionable, unwaived, something that cannot be waived, very strong belief. No, you have to explain how that belief is strong. So if you write unquestionable belief, the answer is not correct. Lencho did not try to find out. Now why he did not? Because he never had a doubt whether God is present or not. He never had a question in his mind that where does he stay? Will he receive this letter or not? He had complete faith in him. He could not believe that it could be anybody else, that somebody could actually be in the face of God helping him. He never had that thought in his mind. Now when you write God as him, you use a pronoun for God, you have to make sure that him, H, is capital. Even when you refer to God as he, always remember in English, H has to be capital. So other than him, who would send him money, his faith in God was so strong, so determined, so resolute, that he believed that God was the one who had sent him the money for helping him in his times of crisis. So that's the reason he never bothered to find out who he was, because he knew that God is there. And if somebody is there, you don't have a doubt or a second thought that it can be someone else who's actually helping you. So this is the answer. Yes, you can write he, but H has to be capital, Sahil. Amazing, Mehak. Great, great, great. So you see, when you write the answers so nicely, so neatly, your understanding of the chapter becomes even fine. Who does Lencho think has taken the rest of the money? I think we all know this answer. But the next question is important. What is the irony in this situation? When I say it is very ironical, paradoxical, contrary to the reality, what is the contradiction here that I'm talking about? So who does Lencho think has taken the rest of the money? Lencho thinks that the post office employees have taken the rest of the money. This is a very common answer. You add something extra to it. Remember the X factor. As he had demanded 100 pesos from God, and ended up receiving only 70 pesos in the letter from God. And so Lencho thinks that someone has taken the money and that someone is none other than the post office employees. Now this makes you look a more responsible student who is taking the question seriously and is giving an answer in totality. You are giving a very complete answer. As a language teacher, we look forward to such kind of inputs from students. Now, what is the irony in the situation? He believed that God cannot make such a mistake. So he assumes that they have stolen the money. The irony in the situation is that Lencho suspects those people who helped him in his problem and tried to keep his faith alive in God. So he's actually doubting the person who's wanting his good. He's doubting the person who's actually trying to help him come out of a situation. Now that is very ironical. Are you understanding? Sometimes in Hindi we say, I'll take a help of Hindi and convert the same thing into English for all my students who face a difficulty in understanding the language Hindi. So in Hindi we say, मारने वाला ही मरहम लगाता है. It is so ironical. The one who is hurting you is the one who is applying medicine to your wound. It is so ironical. So that is how the situation is. The one who is helping you is the one who is taking the blame of stealing the money. So let's say this XYZ person is the one who is giving you money from his pocket and is also being blamed for taking away that money. So ironical. Did you understand this? I'm going to come live again tomorrow at the same time 11 and we're going to discuss Nelson Mandela. Questions and answers. This entire week I have dedicated to your preparation for your exam. So every chapter we're going to pick up and we're going to discuss the questions and answers. So stay tuned. Every day you're going to meet me at 11 a.m. Yes? And we're going to make, yes Sahil, and we're going to make and polish your preparation in the month of October. So welcome to Team Vandana, all my new students. We call ourselves as Team Vandana and we are going to nail this. Okay. So are there people like Lencho in the real world? Do you have, see, we all know that God is there, you know, in some or the other form. We go to the temples, we go to the mosques, we go to the gurudwaras, we go to the church and all these places, or you visit and you pay your respect to the sun which is visible. And you know, right, without sun the existence is not possible. So do you think ever if you are in trouble, can you write a letter to God? I mean, I cannot. I believe that God is there, but I am not like, I cannot be like Lencho to have this unshakable, unquestionable faith that भैया भगवान है और मुझे तो भगवान से बात करनी है. God is there and I have to talk to him. Do you think such kind of people exist in reality? And what kind of a person would you say he is? Now this has to be balanced. This second question, in this question has to be balanced. You have to bring it in a very diplomatic way. So it is impossible to find a person like Lencho, as he is having an unquestioning and he is a naive kind of a person, very innocent person. Matlab, he is the extreme end of innocence. He is not stupid if he doesn't know who has sent him money or a letter will reach God without any address. It is Lencho's faith in God. In real world, people are selfish and greedy, and Lencho is totally lovable and different. So it is almost impossible to find someone with this kind of belief in God. So we will not say that he's a stupid person, because he is not doubting whether the letter will reach the God or not, whether the help will come to him or not. And when the final help came, he had that guts and audacity to say that God cannot make a mistake, and he still believed that it was God who had done it. He's not even saying that thank you to whoever, came in the face of God and helped me. So we can also say that he lacks gratitude here. Because instead of being thankful for what he has been given, he still has a complaint of not receiving or receiving 30 pesos less, and he wants that too. So a very practical kind of approach this guy has. Exactly, Sahil, exactly. I love the way you are using the word profound so conveniently. Very nice, very nice. Amazing. Did you understand this? And then when I conclude this, the main points of the story that you're supposed to remember are presented right here before you for your help. So Lencho was a farmer. His house was the only house in the valley. Lencho's fields needed rain for a good harvest. He looked expectantly at the sky, and it did rain at last. The drops of rain were like coins for him. His happiness was short-lived. It was very transient, as very large hailstones began to fall after the rain. The hailstones destroyed all the leaves on the trees, plants and flowers. There would be no crop that year. There was a single hope, that is help from God. On the following Sunday, he wrote a letter to God. He needed 100 pesos to sow his fields again and to live until the new crop came. He wrote to God on the envelope and put the letter into the mailbox. The postman laughed heartily and took it to the postmaster. The postmaster laughed too, but soon he became serious. He then decided to reply to the letter and help Lencho. He collected 70 pesos only from his employees and himself contributed a part of his salary. He put the money in an envelope and posted it to Lencho. Lencho had an unwavering faith in God, and so he was not surprised when he received the money. His happiness then turned into anger, as there were 30 pesos short in the total sum. Lencho could never believe that God could ever deceive him. So he wrote another letter to God, reminding him that he received only 70 pesos sent by him. He asked God not to send the rest of 30 pesos through the mail, as the post office employees were a bunch of crooks. So deceive is basically cheat him. Yes, he detests those with unfaithful conscience. I love that line. I love that line, Sahil. Superb, superb. So was this helpful, guys? Yes? Was the session a very insightful session? Amazing, amazing. I'm so happy. So if you really enjoyed my session, and if you want to learn more with me, explore the wonderful tales of English with me, build up your vocabulary, improve your reading skills, get better and develop a flair for writing in English, communicating in English, your conversational skills, make sure you join me on the Unacademy app. Follow my course page so that you get notified whenever I come up with a session. Someday try and attend my economics session too. It is great, I can tell that to you, because I help you in making notes which will make you forget your textbook. So download the Unacademy Learning app. Now in the goals, you will also find option of 6th, 7th and 8th. And remember, you get a lot of advantages when you take the subscription. It's a one-time payment that you do to us, to the portal, not even us. You pay to the portal and you have a complete access of portal. Also remember, when you subscribe, for example, let's say you take a subscription for class 6th, you get a subscription up to 12th in the same fees for the same duration. So let's say, for example, for instance, you have taken a 12-month subscription for standard 6. You get it for 15,000. Don't forget to use the code VBLIVE or VB20. So when you put that code, you get an extra 10% discount. I'll just take 2 minutes of yours because this is of great benefit to you. So let's say you have taken a 15,000 rupees subscription, which is for 12 months. In the 12 months, first take a 10% discount, pay 1,500 less, save this money, invest it at a good place, attend the Creative Corner sessions on how to invest money at an early age. So invest this 1,500. Don't forget to use the code. You can use even this code VBLive, or you can use the code VB20. So you use the code and now it comes down to 13,500. In 13,500, you are getting 6th, for which you are paying. But the portal wants to give you more benefits. So you get 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th also. I'm not kidding. You get all of this in 13,500, which means if you have a sibling, you have a brother or a sister, both of you can study in the same fees. So in 13,500, if let's say you have someone who's in 7th standard, and let's say maybe you are in 7th standard and you have a brother or a sister who is in 9th or 10th standard, for example, both of you can study in 13,500. And after your 12 months, you can renew the subscription. And if you want to secure, like a lot of students right now, they are actually taking a complete benefit of the scheme. They are subscribing for 7th and they are taking a subscription which goes for 2 years or 3 years. And so the brother is secured or the sister is secured with 9th, 10th and 11th. And the other student is secured with 7th, 8th and 9th. And what are you paying is barely 800 rupees or less than 1,000 rupees a month. And if you don't want to pay the whole sum at once, the portal is also giving you an option of a zero cost EMI. For 6 months and above subscription, there are no cost EMI plans that are available for you. So you can actually pay in parts. You don't have to pay everything together. Now please remember, this is a forward moving subscription. Okay? Which means if you take for 6th, you get up to 12th. If you take for 7th, you don't get 6th. Okay? So if you take 7th, it is 7 to 12. If you are in 9th, you get 9 to 12. October month is a very important month and it is high time to start your full-fledged preparation for your exams. Pre-boards are to be taken very seriously. India is in a pandemic situation till today. And it is very important that your education and this crucial year of 10th doesn't get sacrificed in all this. Don't compromise on the quality. This is an investment that you do in your future. So take wise decisions. Make sure you join the portal. Across India, there are top educators who are going to train you for being better than the best and the rest. So our aim is quality and content together. Don't spend a single rupee elsewhere. You get test series, you get the batches, you get the plus classes all live, you get the analysis sessions of the test series in one fees. So you pay once and the portal is open for everything. We don't fool you by charging you separately for tests or batches. In fact, the Creative Corner has also been made free now. What more do you want? So along with this, you get the Creative Corner also. I will be looking forward to have you in all my sessions. And thank you so much for being such a lovely and such a contributing audience. Your input definitely highlighted and made this session all the more creative and interesting. Thank you so much. Great day to all of you. It was of immense help. Excellent. I will be seeing you once again tomorrow at the same time, and we are going to discuss Nelson Mandela this time. A very important and a very interesting excerpt from his autobiography, A Long Walk to Freedom. So a very interesting story. If there's anything more that I can help you with, feel free to leave a comment in this video. If you really like it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to drop a like or a comment. It will be great. Please keep on sharing this video to help all those who don't have such resources and accesses, so that this can be of great help to them too. Thank you once again and have a great day. Bye. Take care.